It is so cold right now, and everyone seems to have a go-to snack they swear by, so I rated your winter snack recipes to find my favorite. Let's get started with the first one. I received two very similar sweet potato chaat recipes and I just decided to try both because why should you choose when you can just have both? We're making sweet potato chats by Arohi and Twisha. One recipe uses sliced sweet potatoes while the other uses diced. I just boiled them both in hot water till fork tender. Both of these recipes have pretty much the exact same ingredients except for the final toppings, and one uses curd while the other doesn't. For Arohi's sweet potato chaat, I added chaat masala on my sliced and boiled sweet potatoes, a good squeeze of lemon juice, lots of diced tomatoes and onions, and a drizzle of curd. Chutneys, we have green chutney and imli chutney. Season again with chili powder and salt, and add pomegranate seeds which add crunch and sweetness. Now for the most fun part, we're crushing some blue lace on top, which looks wise, it instantly elevated this plate and my mouth was literally salivating so bad at this point. Like, look at that. For Twisha's sweet potato chaat, to a plate of diced sweet potatoes, we add onions, tomatoes, green chutney, imli chutney, lemon juice, and for spices, there's roasted cumin powder, chaat masala, chili powder, and salt. Now here's why this one's a bit different. For toppings, there's fresh coriander, pomegranate seeds, roasted peanuts, and lots of save. Both of these looked absolutely amazing, and they're a complete flavor bomb. Sweet, spicy, tangy, crunchy, creamy, like everything just worked perfectly together. Kindly ignore the mess here and here. I'll organize it. But for now, let's focus on these beautiful looking chats. Both of them look so amazing. That is so delicious. This one's the one with curd. Oh my god, I love the lace on there. It adds such a good flavor and crunch. I'm not gonna lie, both versions for me were equally good, and if you don't like sweet potatoes, I think you'll still like these. I cannot choose, so for me, the taste is going to be a 10 for both, and both were pretty much the same effort, so a 9. Mutter cutlets by Shiza. We start by boiling a fresh green peas in water till they're bright and soft. Drain them, and you can mash them with a fork or a potato masher, but I just pulse them in a blender because I was feeling lazy. Add lots of finely chopped onions, green chilies, and for spices we have salt, chili powder, and garam masala. Now Shiza did not ask me to add besan, but I do think this needed some sort of binding agent, so I did add a tablespoon of it. And I do think you shouldn't skip the besan or add like corn flour or rice flour, just add something. At this point, it is literally just me and my ice cream scooper against the whole world. I scooped equal portions with it and then shaped them into patties before frying them in hot oil. I shallow fried them because these patties, they just seemed very fragile and I just wanted them to cook low and slow and get a really nice crisp outside. These cutlets are so freaking tender on the inside. They reminded me so much of hara bhara kebab, but even better in my opinion. Like, the texture is just perfect. They're sweet but also properly spiced. This one really surprised me. Like, I went in without any expectations only because the recipe seemed very simple, but yeah, the final result, it was way better than I expected. It's proof that simple ingredients on their own, they taste amazing. I'll give these an 8 for ease and a 9 for taste. Potato soup by Ojasvi. This recipe has only 7 ingredients and 2 of those ingredients are literally salt and pepper. Heat up a pot with lots of butter and add sliced onions and garlic to it. I actually did not read the crushed garlic part, so I just added whole garlic cloves because mine were very tiny, but yeah, you can crush them if you want. Add in lots of finely chopped potatoes and just let these cook till the potatoes get a nice golden brown color on the edges. Add milk, just enough to fully cover the potatoes, and let this cook and boil until the potatoes are fully cooked and fork tender. Please make sure to stir this every few minutes so the bottom of the pan doesn't burn. At this point, you can use an immersion blender, but I just used a regular blender, so I cooled it completely before transferring it. I transferred the blended soup into a fresh pot, seasoned with salt and pepper, and gave it a really good mix before adding in the cheese. I used cheddar, but you can use any cheese you like. I turned off the heat and mixed till the cheese was completely melted, and this smelled so incredible. The onions have this sweet smell, like it smells so amazing, and I was genuinely in awe because I've always wanted to try a potato soup, but I don't know why I've never made it before, so I was really glad I finally did. This soup turns out insanely creamy. It honestly smells and tastes like a cheese sauce, and the entire time I was just thinking how good this would be as a pasta sauce. I served this with garlic bread, and it was such a comforting, cozy meal. This is one of those recipes that feels very simple, but it tastes way more indulgent than you would expect. I'll give this a 7.5 for ease because even though there's a lot of passive cooking, it does take a decent amount of time, and 9.5 for taste. Bhaji Burgers by Mehak, or as she called it, veg hot dog. So these are burgers, but the stuffing is bhaji, so we start by making our bhaji. Heat up a pan with lots of oil and butter and saute onions till golden. I added fresh ginger and garlic along with green chilies and cooked these till the onions were completely golden brown because plasticky onions, they're still a no in 2026. Add in lots of chopped tomatoes, and the tomatoes should be significantly more than the onions. Season with salt and cook this till the tomatoes are completely mushy. Now, even though I don't like it, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, and I did overdo it a tiny bit. No, like a lot with the masala. Like, as you can see, I added way too many seasonings, so just tone it down, okay? Like, you don't need this much. It actually wasn't a problem in this particular recipe because we're stuffing it inside the burger buns, but if I were to eat it separately with pao, yeah, that would be way too much, way too spicy. Mix everything together to get this thick bhaji, and honestly, like, the color turned out beautiful. Credit goes to all the extra masalas I added. Finish with a very generous squeeze of lemon juice to brighten things up. Lots of fresh coriander, kasuri methi, give it all a good mix, and that's our bhaji ready. Take a burger bun, slice it in half, and I slightly hollowed the buns by removing a bit of the inside, but you don't have to do that. On one side, add a very generous amount of green chutney. On the other half, add a few scoops of bhaji. I was trying to add as much as I could without spilling. Top it off with a slice of cheese. Close the burger and toast it in butter on both sides on a pan till crisp. Like I said, the masala thing, it threw me off a bit because it was a lot, but this did end up tasting really nice overall. I think this is a great recipe for when you have leftover bhaji, but like you don't want to eat pav bhaji. I'll rate this a 6.5 for ease because it was quite time consuming, but if you're using leftover bhaji, then the ease would be way higher. For taste, I'll give it an 8 because it ate. The flavors are familiar and comforting, and the green chutney, it really helps lighten things up. Speaking of sauces and dips that go so well with these snacks, thank you so much Kisan for partnering with us on this video. You can't have a snack without a dip. You can't have a full plate of food without a chutney. Like we Indians, we cannot do bland food, and chutneys are like a cheat code to uplift our food. I love the range of flavors and textures these chutneys have. They have that authentic silbatta style texture. The thecha and lesuni mirch, they're properly spicy, which is what makes them so addictive. The imli chutney is perfect. It's not too sweet, which is what we love. This hari chutney is so chatpata, like it can make any dish taste amazing. All these chutneys are made with ingredients sourced from Indian farms, which you can tell as soon as you have a taste. Thick, spreadable, lickable. The consistency is made for all types of Indian food. The imli and hari chutney goes so well with the sweet potato chaat. The thecha chutney adds that spice to the mutton cutlets, and the lesuni chutney is exactly what the chawal ka toda needed to make it taste even better than it did. Trust me, you're gonna fall in love with each and every one of these because they're just so good. Chawal Ka Toda by Bhumi. First impressions after reading the recipe, this one actually reminded me so much of akki roti. That is also a chawal ki roti, but it's from the south, and I just love how this recipe uses so many seasonal winter ingredients. We have lots of spinach, methi, radish. They're literally so good during this time of the year, and you'll have to knead them into a dough with rice flour, coriander, green chilies, ajwain, jeera, salt and water. I kept my dough sticky but not too wet because this is the perfect consistency to use the parchment paper method. So what I like to do is I grease a parchment paper with ghee, fold and gently press it to form a round roti. Like you don't have to roll or do anything time consuming, it just slides right onto the pan as you can see. Cook the roti on both sides in ghee till properly cooked. They're gonna be slightly crispy on the outside, slightly chewy on the inside, and I just served them with some curd, gobi sabzi, onions and garlic chutney. Now this is obviously a whole meal, but I definitely see how you would like snack on these rotis like you do with thepla. I just love how this series gives me access to your authentic regional food because I've gotten to try so many things which I don't think I would have had the opportunity to otherwise. The radish adds a subtle sweetness, the greens don't taste bitter at all, and it just feels really comforting and satisfying to eat with lots of ghee. My voice is cracking a bit. It's actually very cold. I'll give this a 7 for ease and a 9 for taste. I might be a bit biased because I am absolutely obsessed with sweet potatoes, but you really need to try both of the sweet potato chaats. I honestly loved all the recipes in this video, so I would just recommend you to try whichever one caught your eye. The chawal ka toda was so comforting. The matar cutlets were tender on the inside but crispy on the outside. The bhaji burgers are such a great way to use up leftover bhaji, and the potato soup, it is so simple but so comforting. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you very soon on my next one. Okay, bye.
Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. You see her walking down the boulevard. She got the posture of a super